Hello, so it's here, 16 years waiting for John Frusciante to make a new album with the Chili Peppers, and now that day has arrived. So yeah, I'm just gonna share my thoughts like the rest of the internet's doing. I spoke about the previous 3 singles before. I'll start off with the single released just before the album dropped, so that was These Are The Ways, and this single is my favourite of all the singles they released. Real cool song, starts off real chill, then kicks up a pace, and then at the end I was listening to it, I was like, yo, is Frusciante gone drop D? And I was right, I was just playing along just now, that ending bit, that do 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 do, that's, yeah, he's gone new metal. Frusciante officially went new metal on this album. So I really like this single. Definitely my favourite of all the singles they released. Chad Smith on this track, if you watch my the previous videos, I was like, Chad's playing what's right for the song, he's solid, the drum sounds great. On this track he's going absolutely nuts and I love it. The ending, yeah, awesome. If they dropped that song first when this album was released, I'd have been buzzing for the whole thing, but I think because the first 3 tracks, yeah, there were parts of all of them I liked, but Black Summer and Not The One I wasn't massively keen on, particularly the vocals. I wasn't keen, and even Poster Child, although musically was my favourite, vocally wasn't buzzed about it. So to hear this track, yeah, I love These Other Ways. So yeah, I listened to the album front to back. Off the back of the singles, I almost went into this album with no massive expectations. I thought, okay, these are three singles, 4 singles if you include These Are The Ways, all very different. So I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to make a prejudge this album, I'm going to wait till I hear the whole thing, because I could tell the different styles within all 3 of those tracks. So yesterday sat down, had a proper listen, and yeah, eclectic is the word. There's all sorts of flavours on here, and parts of it, you know, you could hear that old school Chili's vibe. There's no doubt when Frusciante, Flea and Chad start making music, there's just a vibe in there, and I think that's what this album does for me. I don't think there's any formula they went with, it's just kind of like, this is the music we want to play and we're just going to jam it and see what comes out. And you can hear that in quite a few of the songs. It's a bit of a mixed bag, I'd say. Some songs I'm not too fussed with, other songs I'm really into. So I really like the track Here Ever After, and they're quite early on in the album, Aquatic Mouth Dance as well. Aquatic Mouth Dance is one of my favourite songs on this album. Here Ever After's got that kind of tribal drum beat. It reminds me of Throw Away Your Television kind of drum beat, and then some of the guitar work reminds me of Fortune Faded, that just kind of notey verse riff, which is awesome. I really love What You Thinking. What You Thinking? What You Thinking? That track straight away. That chorus when it hit, I was like, oh man, this is it. This is the vibe I was hoping for, and they came with it, man. Yeah, real awesome track. And the song that made me think these guys are just jamming, they're just playing what they want, is Bastards of Light. Or it's like 3 different songs in one. It's like 80s electro, then it turns into a country song, and then it turns into some crazy, like, almost punk kind of thing. But I love it. It's an awesome track. I remember reading some things that people were a bit worried that Frusciante might bring some of his electro influence into it, because he makes all this weird electronic stuff that I'm not personally into, but I know other people like it. But it works really well in this song, particularly because it's such a weird track. I love it. I really like White Braids. I think it's called White Braids. Real chill song, and the shuffle kind of end is amazing. Let 'Em Cry has this cool kind of almost reggae vibe to it, which is awesome. Yeah, feeling that one. And the ending, Tangelo, I think that's how it's pronounced. Love it, just real chill acoustic ending to the album, and that, yeah, great way to end it. Some of the other songs I'm not too keen on. I'm not massively keen, you know, I spoke about some of the singles I'm not massively keen on. I'm not the biggest fan of the track Great Apes or Way Traffic or Heavy Wing. Again, it's like when I was looking back at some of the singles, there are cool parts to some of them, but yeah, other parts not too keen on. And ultimately, my biggest feeling about this record is that musically, there's some amazing aspects on here. You can hear that the band don't sound like they're just going through a formula, like with my feeling is how that's gone with previous releases without Frusciante in the band. It sounds like they've been reinvigorated. So the musicianship on this album, some of it's just amazing. You know, Chad, Flea and John all absolutely have some amazing moments on this album. And personally, I wasn't too fussed about Anthony's vocals on some of the tracks, but some of the album tracks works really well, and vocally that's where you can tell Frusciante's back as well. Those harmonies that he kicks in with sometimes are just amazing. I think on one of the songs he has a whole solo to himself and Anthony's doing the backup, and that just sounds awesome as well. But yeah, overall I'm super happy with how this record's come out. Like I said, I had no massive expectations for this album. I was just going to hear it on its own merit really. I'm hoping that it was going to tap into some of the feelings I had when I was growing up listening to the Chili Peppers, and it hit that, and as well brought some new stuff which I was really into. I wouldn't say I love the whole thing top to bottom. There were definitely some standout tracks, some tracks that, you know, I'd be happy if, you know, just to have on in the background, or if I managed to not hear it, it's not the end of the world. But and I tried not to get caught up in all the hype, you know, Frusciante's back, oh my god. At the end of the day, you just want to hear him make some cool tunes, and that's what we've got with this album. I think for me, hearing in particular Flea, John, Chad jamming again and making music, you can tell it means something. It's not just formulaic. It's really great to hear. And one more thing as well is the production on this album. I love the fact it doesn't sound over-processed. It literally sounds like there are parts of it that sound like they're just jamming in the room and they've stuck the mics in. And I love that, because so much music nowadays is just produced to death and time-stamped within a millisecond of each note has to be perfect, whereas on this you can hear like the odd note going slightly out of tune and bending back in, and that's what music's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be this formulaic mathematic equation, and I love that you can hear that on this record. And also, if I listened to it with headphones first time, you can hear some of the studio noise. You'll hear like, you know, them putting their guitars down, or Chad putting a drumstick somewhere, or just someone walking. I don't know, it's cool. You can just hear that, yeah, this is a band just jamming, and that's what you want. It's so nice to hear that nowadays, where it seems like musically now we've got to have this pristine, shiny, perfect thing. And actually, no, we got the Chili Peppers, one of the most well-known bands in the world, just old school in it, and yeah, that was awesome to hear as well. So apologies to those that might want me to do kind of a lyrical feeling. Personally, I'm not a lyric person. I'm more of a sound melody person, and Kiedis has his better moments on this album, his not so great moments on this album in terms of just the vocal style, the pattern, the melody. I don't have a clue what he's chatting about in a lot of the songs, to be fair. That's for someone else to have a look at, but yeah, nice to hear the Chili Peppers back. Really pleased with how the album came out overall. I'll be jamming some of these songs for a long while, so let me know your thoughts, let me know your favourite tracks, let me know things you like, things you didn't like. Was it worth the 16-year wait for John Frusciante? I think yes. No disrespect to Klinghoffer, like I said before, he's an awesome guitarist, and he kept the Chili Peppers going, to be fair. But yeah, this just sounds like, this brings it back to the sound that me personally, and I'm sure for lots of other people, we've been almost waiting for from the Chili's. So yeah, awesome, great to hear. Let me know what you think, and cheers for watching.